Alhamdulillah wa shukrullah wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah Muhammad ibn Abdullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ala amma ba'd. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, my students? So we are going to study about grammar. We're still in the chapter of adjective in comparison. Let's start our lesson by reciting Al-Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So you can open your book at page number 49. There are 3 degrees of comparison of adjective. The first is the positive. The positive denotes the simply decrease, like you claim something for something. For example, I have a beautiful horse. Beautiful, this is the positive, but not in comparison. In comparison, there is something else. Okay. So the second kind of degrees, is the mid level. Level you possess that adjective. The first is I have a beautiful horse. That is such kind of like other beautifulness. Okay, just so. So the second is the comparative. The comparative denotes a higher degree. That means this thing is higher, has higher degree than this thing. Okay, to show that one is more than other. For example, LB has a more beautiful horse. So the word a more beautiful, okay, a more beautiful denotes that LB's horse is more beautiful, has a more level of beautifulness, more level of beauty. Okay, LB has a more beautiful horse. Okay, so the third one is the superlative. Superlative denotes the highest degrees. So if the comparative just higher, okay, but the superlative if the highest is the highest degree of everything. For example, Fahmi has the most beautiful horse. Fahmi has the most. That means there is no more beautiful than his horse. Okay, this is superlative. Positive is an ordinary adjective. Comparative, that means you compare between one and another. And the third one is superlative. Superlative means that you claim or you denotes this thing has the highest degree or the highest level of something. Okay. So if you said about there are the ways of comparing adjective. How to compare an adjective? For example, I said in the example, LB has LB has a more beautiful. Do we compare always by using more, or we can use another thing? Okay, to compare the adjective, there are three main ways. The first is by using the word more, more. Okay, for comparative, and most, most, for superlative. Super and comparable. Okay, comparable you use more, and the superlative you use most. So there is a table in the book. In section A, in all adjective of more than 2 syllables. Syllables that mean, for example, ayam. There are 2 syllables in this word. Okay, book is 1 syllable. Okay, what do we say in Malay language? I don't really understand. But if you say, for example, book is 1 syllable. If you say table, this is 2 syllables. Table. Okay, macam pengucapan itu ejaan. Okay, if the adjective is more than 2 syllables, so you use more to show to compare. For example, expensive, there are 3 syllables. Okay, so when you compare something with other, and the adjective is more than 2 syllables, so you use more to express the comparison. For example, I have more expensive pen than yours. I have more expensive pen than yours. So For superlative, I have the most expensive car in Malaysia, for example. Okay, I have most expensive car. More and most are used for adjective which more than 2 syllables. Okay, as you see in the table, there are 3 examples. The first is expensive, the second is important, and the third is valuable. Okay. In section B, in the most adjective of 2 syllables. Okay, the most adjective of 2 syllables. For example, famous. Okay, this is 2 syllables. Okay. In the section A, we were talking about more than 2 syllables. Okay, in section B, 2 syllables, adjective with 2 syllables. Okay, for example, famous. Okay, to show the comparison, you say more famous, and to show the superlation, you use most famous. Okay, as you see in the table. For example, who is the actress of Malaysia? Aida Jebat. Aida Jebat is more famous than Nabila Razali. That is the example. Okay. Or most famous, Aida Jebat is the most famous actress in Malaysia. Or she is a singer. Okay. Aida Jebat is the most famous singer in Malaysia. Okay. Another example: honest, selfish, stupid. These words are 2 syllables. Famous, honest, selfish, stupid. So, in the part 2, okay, just now we are using more and most for comparative and superlative. So, in section number 2, by adding er or est to the positive. Okay, for example, if the positive ends in 2 consonants, added by er for comparative and est for superlative. For example, high. Okay, only 1 syllable. Okay, high, short, small. So whenever the adjective is containing only 1 syllable, okay, you use you have to add er at the end of the word. For example, high, it becomes higher. Okay, when superlative, it becomes highest, est at the end. Okay, so the adjective, so you add er at the end, or for superlative, the adjective, and you add est at the end. Short, shorter, shortest, small, smaller, or smallest. Okay, in the section A. In the section B, if the positive ends in 1 consonant and preceded by 2 vowels, added by er for comparative and est for specific, as same as before. Okay, deep, for example, deep, deeper, deepest, great, greater, greatest, near, nearer, neatest, weak, weaker, and weak. So in section number 3, at section number B, we have the same concept as section number A. Okay, in section C, where the positive ends in 1 consonant preceded by short vowel, the final consonant is double and added with er for a comparative and est for superlative. For example, big. So if the adjective is not ended by a vowel or ended by a consonant, so before the last alphabet is only 1 vowel. For example, big. It's only 1 vowel, big. Okay. In the previous section B, D, and ended by consonant, but before it there are 2 vowels. Okay, D, great, need, weak. Okay, so you don't have to add another alphabet. Okay, so if here big, so you have to double the last consonant of the word, it becomes bigger for comparison and biggest for superlative. Okay, for superlative. Hot, hotter, and hottest. Maybe there are no major difference if you if you speak about it, when we talk, but when we write, there are differences. Thin, thinner, okay, and thins for superlative. Okay, this one you have to understand, and you have to know the pattern of section A what, section B we are talking about what, section C we are talking about what. Okay, so in section A, two consonant. Okay, it was ended by two consonant: high GH, short RT, small double L. Okay, in section number B, okay, D consonant, but before the consonant there are two vowels, deep EE, great EA, need EA, weak EA also. But here in section C, a big consonant, but before that only one vowel, single vowel, hot, thin. Okay, in section D, if the positive ends in E, okay, added by R for the comparison, and if the adjective ends in vowel E, okay, for example, one, brave, BRAVE, late, LATE, wise, WISE. Okay, so you have only to add R at the end, not ER again, but only R. Okay, it will be easier for you if you look directly to your book. Okay, for example, brave, so you add only R at the end for comparative, it becomes braver, and for superlative, you have only to add ST at the end, so becomes bravest. Okay, late, later, latest, wise, wiser, and wisest. So this is another kind of one consonant, or one syllable word, one syllable adjective. Okay, in section E, if the positive ends in Y, the Y is changed into I, added by ER for comparative, and EST for superlative. So if the positive or if the adjective ends in Y, okay, alphabet Y, okay, the Y is changed into I, Y is changed into I, okay, and added by ER at the end. Okay, for example, dry, DRY. Okay, for comparison, you add dryer, you change Y by I, okay, and you add ER at the end. Dry, dryer, dryest. Easy, easier, easiest. Happy, happier, happier, happiest. Heavy, heavier, heaviest. Pretty, prettier, and prettiest. Okay, this is another section. And section F, if the Y is preceded by a vowel, preceded means before, okay, before it, okay, or next it preceded by a vowel, ER for comparative and ST for superlative. If Y, okay, at the previous section, in section E, you see DRY, dry. Okay, before Y is consonant. So if before Y is vowel, for example, gay, so for comparison, you add ER. Okay, you don't change Y. Okay, you don't change Y. For example, what? There is only one example in the book. Okay, maybe you look for in your dictionary. Okay, in section G, there are some words which have two forms in comparative and superlative. Tetapi ada beberapa, ya, that you have two forms in comparative and superlative, but not following the rules, the previous rule we were talking about. So they are not in the rules. Okay, for example, clever, it has two syllables, clever, but you don't use more for clever, okay, to show the comparison, or most clever to show the superlations. Okay, you use cleverer. Okay, and also you can use more clever. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. So you can use both of ER or more clever or cleverer, bitter, or more bitter, tenderer or more tender. Narrow, narrower or more narrow. Shallow, shallower or more shallow. And for superlative, cleverest or most clever. Bitterest or most bitter. So, true. There are two usage you can use for clever, bitter, tender, narrow, and shallow. Actually, there is no action. There is no exact rule for this adjective in comparison. So irregular comparison, but there are some words is not really following the rules, not using more or not using er, not using most or not using est at the end. For example, good. You don't say gooder or goodest. You say good, better, best. Bad, worse, worse. Okay. Many more, most. Much more, most. Far, further or farther. Old, older, elder or elders. And little, less, last. And late, later, last. So this word is not following the rules of adjective in comparison. So please just understand about the rules when using comparison, and please be sure that you know every single kind of these differences. Okay, so that is our lesson today. Let's close our study by sitting alhamdulillah, and please do the exercise. There are only one section of exercise. Please do it and send it to me. Don't leave your exercise, please. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.